Same person, same disease, different country, different result. This was a story that showed me that geography still determines who lives and who dies. Our Peru staff had known this patient for many, many years. But something interesting had happened. They didn't know exactly what, they didn't know the details, and they wanted me to figure it out. So they called him in to the office. He didn't live in Lima. He lived way out in a rural area, but he came in and he met me for the first time. He looked ordinary, a little thin maybe, but he had been battling drug-resistant TB for many, many years. He had been treated multiple times in different health centers and hospitals. When he finally came to our organization, he was relieved because he knew that he was going to get the best treatment available in Peru. And he did. A TB specialist designed his drug regimen. He had a community health worker come to his house to help him through his very difficult treatment. There was a nurse on call 24 hours a day if necessary. But in the end, it too was a failure. His sputum never cleared. His symptoms never went away. His TB was just too severe, too advanced. And he knew it. He knew at the end he wasn't going to be cured. And so he told me he just had to leave. So he told his nurses he was done. He left Lima and he went home to the mountains. I have seen so many patients like this in so many countries. It's just a horrible way to die. You know, the treatment is strong enough to hold the TB in check, but it's not strong enough to cure you. And so you're in this horrible liminal state. It's not life, it's not death. And in these cases, eventually, the TB always wins. So as he was telling me this depressing story, he started to get this little twinkle in his eye. He told me in the mountains, he actually started feeling a little bit better, and he'd always dreamed of visiting the United States. So he bought a ticket on a plane to New York. And in New York, he was walking around, seeing the sights, and then suddenly he started coughing up blood, like a lot of blood. He went to the ER, and he got hospitalized for months. Who knows what happened in New York? I can only guess. There are world-class TB doctors in New York, but I don't think they see patients this resistant very often. But I do know one thing that happened because that's what he told me. He got started on treatment in the hospital, and this time there was a new drug that he had never seen before. It was called Bedaquiline. Bedaquiline, after 40 years, was the first new drug developed to treat TB. And there it was, in his regimen, a drug he had never heard of before. In fact, it was a drug that most TB doctors had never heard of before. We didn't know if it was any good or how good it was, but turned out it was really, really good. After a few months, his doctor said, "Hey, looks like you're doing great. You're going to be cured. Here's 6 months supply of your regimen, of your pills. Take them, go back to Lima, find yourself a doctor to follow you up." And that's how he came back to us. We tested him in the laboratory multiple times, and there wasn't a single bacillus in his sputum. He was clean. After 10 years, he was cured of TB. To me, this story is totally bonkers. He did this completely by himself. Nobody told him, nobody helped him. He raised the money somehow for a plane ticket to get to New York, and he just got on the plane, not knowing anybody there. He was really, really sick, chronically ill. He could have coughed up blood, massive hemoptysis at any time. Could have been right there in the airplane bathroom. He had no idea that there was a new drug hitting the market at the same time he was going to hit the ground at JFK Airport. So he just gambled and he won. It was like stowing away on a spaceship to the moon, hoping that NASA scientists have develop some sort of crazy treatment that's going to cure you of your incurable metastatic cancer. TB is a lot like cancer. It's chronic, it's complicated, it's deadly. Doctors often talk about fighting TB, but that puts the burden on the patient. A lot depends on where you are. In one country, the drug exists, it's available, and in the other, it's not. And that is what makes all the difference. Over the years, as I thought about this patient, I've realized that this is actually the story of global health, to make geography irrelevant. So the treatment that you get doesn't depend on which side of the border you are on. I'm not recommending that you do something like this. And to be honest, I don't think that I could have done something like this if I was in his situation. His life changed when he decided that his location, wasn't going to dictate his treatment options. So imagine a world where that's not extraordinary, but just ordinary. In my channel, I like to tell stories about global health and patients like this. I hope it resonated with you, and if so, check my other videos on this channel. I'll see you next time.